Good morning. My name is Charles Micheaux. And before I get started, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to WAEN and Miss Betty Craig for this wonderful opportunity. Every opportunity I get to speak about my heroes, I do. And this morning, I want to talk to you about my favorite hero, and that is the wonderful congressman from Harlem, Adam Clayton Powell. Adam Clayton Powell passed more laws than any other congressman in the history of Congress. He passed over 104 laws, and that record has yet to be broken. The great Dr. Adam Clayton Powell had a wonderful speech entitled, "What's in Your Hand?" And when I first heard the speech, it changed my life forever. I want to revisit the speech and speak it as he spoke it some close to 50 years ago. And the speech is entitled, again, "What's in Your Hand?" And if you go to YouTube, all you need to do is type in "What's in Your Hand." As far as I know here, some of you are in trouble, and some of you say to me, "Well, I'm not like you. I'm not a congressman. I haven't got education. I haven't got work." But you know what you've got? You've got in your hand the power to use your vote and to use even those few cents you get from welfare. That's right. A young slave boy stood one day before the greatest ruler of his day, and God said to Moses, "What's in your hand?" And Moses said, "Lord, only I've got a stick, that's all." And God said, "Well, let me use what's in your hand." And God used that slave boy with a stick in his hand to divide the Red Seas, to march through a wilderness, to bring water out of rock, manna from heaven, and lead his people to freedom land. What's in your hand? Just let God use you, that's all. What's in your hand? George Washington Carver, who was so frail that he was traded for a broken down horse as a slave boy. And George Washington Carver spoke to Adam Clayton Powell, and he said, "Dr. Powell, I just get up each morning at 5 o'clock, and I go out into the field and I pray, and I ask God to guide me. And then I bring back these little things and I work them over in my laboratory." And George Washington Carver did more to revolutionize the agricultural science of peanuts and of cotton and sweet potato than any other human being in the field of agricultural science. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? I've got a string in my hand and I'm flying a kite. And way up in the heavens lightning strikes it, and I, Benjamin Franklin, discover for the first time the possibilities of electricity, just letting God guide a string in my hand. What's in your hand, brother? What's in your hand? Little hunchback sitting in a Roman jail? I haven't got anything in my hand but an old quill pen. But God said, "Write what I tell you to write." And the Apostle Paul wrote, "I have run my race with patience. I've finished my course. I've kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness." What's in your hand? What's in your hand, little boy? All I've got is a slingshot. And the enemies of my people are great and big and more numerous than we are. He said, "Well, little David, go on down to the brook and pick out a few stones and come on back and close your eyes if you want to and pull back that slingshot and let him go." And little David killed the biggest enemy of the leader of the giants against his people, just letting God guide a stone in his hand. That's right. And a few years pass, and David is a king. And God said, "What's in your hand, David?" He said, "Lord, I got a harp in my hand." And God said, "Well, play on your harp." And he played, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Maketh me to lie down near green pastures, and leadeth me beside still waters. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." What's in your hand? What's in your hand, man hanging on a cross? I've got 2 nails in my hands. Father, I stretch my hands to thee. No other help I know. If thou withdraw thyself from me, whither shall I go? And that man, with 2 nails in his hands, split history in half, BC and AD. And I say to you today, my friends, that there is a God who rules above the hand of power and the heart of love. And if we're right, the victory will be accomplished sooner than we dreamed, sooner than we hoped for, and sooner even than we imagined. And as my grandmother told me many times when I was just a boy, one with God is always in the majority. Thank you.